Hey guys, as you can tell from the title itself, this video contains potential spoilers for the third episode of the final season of Game of Thrones. Season 8 has been written quite a long time ago at this point, but we don't know if this leaked script is true or not. I will point out any sentence that might be out of the order, as I did in my previous video regarding the leaks for the final season. Anyways, if you don't want anything to be potentially spoiled, it's time for you to close this video. The episode starts with all living men that survived a huge battle at Winterfell in previous episode arriving in Greywater Watch. All of them make a stop to rest there and to discuss their strategy to feed the Night King for good. Inside Greywater Watch, Daenerys, Jon, Jaime, Bronn, Edmure, Tyrion, Sansa, Sam, Davos, Robin and Lord Royce discuss how they will organize themselves before splitting up. Jon proposes to evade the Night King's attack from the Eyrie, since the fortress is very difficult to impregnate. Tyrion jokes that the Night King only needs 10 good men to impregnate it, but only Bronn gets the joke. Anyways, their plan is to set the remaining Lannister and Tully army to defend Riverrun together with Edmure, Tyrion, Jaime and Bronn. When the Eyrie gets attacked first, the Night King's army has to get lured into the Bloody Gate, and that's when the Lannister and Tully forces need to join the attack as well. Let me just remind you of one conversation between Peter Baelish and Sansa that occurred in the 4th season. While approaching the Bloody Gate of their way to the Eyrie, Sansa asked Littlefinger, "Is this the only way to the Eyrie?" Baelish told her the mountains are impassable. If you want to get to the Eyrie, you have to go through the Bloody Gate. It doesn't matter how large your army is. If you attack this gate, you do it on this road, 3 men abreast and get slaughtered like goats. Littlefinger also added, "Know your strengths, use them wisely and 1 man can be worth 10,000. At first glance, this would seem to make the numbers in the Night King's army count for nothing. Baelish is right. The only way to the Eyrie is go through the Bloody Gate because the mountains are impassable for any army, no matter how large it is, but is it impassable for the army of the dead? While the mountains would claim pretty much most of any army before it would manage to cross them, and even those who would manage to survive would have lower battle performance due to exhaustion, the Night King's army on the other hand would have no problem crossing those mountains. The army of the dead does not need food and water, nor can get tired. With this being said, I don't see any reason why would the Night King's army go through the Bloody Gate to reach the Eyrie, and therefore this part of the script is either fake or just another Tyrion's plan that will not go very well. Anyways, there's also stated that Theon is being commanded to take back Pike and defend it together with the Ironborn and the remaining northern armies. I'm not sure if it states that Theon has to defend it against Euron Greyjoy, who would at this point probably be on his way back to Pike after bringing the Golden Company to King's Landing, or if it states that he had to defend it against the army of the dead, which would not make any sense. The Night King's army cannot swim, nor does it possess ships that would escort them to Pike, or at least not that we are aware of. Anyways, Jon Snow then remarks that Arya and the Hound have not been seen arriving in Greywater Watch. Edmure assures that Arya has not died, but simply disappeared when they were retreating from Winterfell. Sansa remarks that wherever she is safe with the Hound. Jon wants Sansa and Brienne to join Robin and Gendry to the Eyrie, where they would probably be safer. Jon stays with Davos, Jaime, Jorah, Bronn, Tyrion and Edmure in Riverrun. Jon wants Daenerys to travel to Dragonstone together with Varys and Missandei, while he also says that Sam and Gilly should travel with her. Maester Vulcan received bad news. Lyanna Mormont did not make it to Bear Island and has died. The next shot is Arya and the Hound traveling on the King's Road. The Hound complains to Arya that she should have followed her brother and sister and that she's a stupid girl to travel alone in the north, now that the army of the dead is around. Arya answers the Hound that he should not have stuck with her if he's scared. The Hound then tells to Arya that he knows she's heading to King's Landing, but he doesn't understand why. Arya says that she has to cross one last name of her list. The Hound laughs and asks Arya why she's still holding that list, since everyone will die soon anyway. Arya responds that she needs to kill Cersei herself. The Hound agrees and tells that he has some unfinished business with his brother as well, who happens to be Cersei's personal guard. The two are then encountered by an old woman who's asking after the king in the north. The Hound says that an old woman should not be alone in the woods with the Night King's army approaching. The old woman says she doesn't fear the dead. Arya tells the woman she thinks Jon Snow has traveled south, probably to Dragonstone. The old woman takes a look at Arya and tells her that they have met before. Arya is puzzled about this. The old woman leaves. Let me just highlight that the old woman would obviously be Melisandre, who would come one last time to Westeros and would also fulfill the prophecy she said to Arya back in the 3rd season. Melisandre would take off her necklace and would once again reveal her true form, which is a frail old woman who is approximately 400 years old. Basically, Melisandre will return to Jon Snow in her true form to play her role in the Great War. Since no one has ever seen her true form, no one actually knows how she really looks like, and therefore Jon's promise of having her hanged if he ever sees her again would be avoided. This is something I already pointed out in one of my previous videos, even though I still don't think those leaked scripts for the Season 8 are true. In my opinion, Melisandre will reunite with both Jon and Arya at Winterfell, and will eventually get killed upon revealing to them who she actually is. Regarding Melisandre's death, there are a couple of possibilities, such as Melisandre having to reveal to Jon Snow that she is in fact Melisandre in order to convince him into her new prophecies. This would most certainly lead to her death, since Jon promised her that if she's to return to the north, he'll have her hanged as a murderer. Another possibility is a prophesied meeting between Melisandre herself and Arya, which might lead to Melisandre's death. We know that Arya is dedicated on decreasing the names on her kill list, and we also know that Melisandre's name is on that list. Considering all those facts, Arya killing Melisandre most certainly doesn't seem to be out of the realm of possibilities. Anyways, back to the script. During the night, the characters at Greywater Watch sleep in huts. Jon has a conversation with Howland Reed asking if he is going to travel with them to the south since the White Walkers will probably hit Greywater Watch soon. Let me just stop it right here to say that this sentence is just one more proof that these leaked scripts for the season 8 are fake. They're stated that Howland Reed is being killed in the second episode during the Battle of Winterfell, and yet now he somehow has a conversation with Jon Snow at Greywater Watch. Those leaks being fake does not mean Howland will not appear, it just means this is not how his role would be played. Beside Bran, he's the only person that witnessed Jon's birth, and therefore he still has a big role to play. In my few videos regarding how will we and how will Jon Snow find out that Jon is in effect the legitimate son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark, I predicted quite a few things that came true in the last season. We learned that Jon is Aegon Targaryen in Bran's flashback, but Jon still doesn't know anything. Back then I said that Jon will learn the truth in the final season, which is when Howland Reed would appear, and not only that he would confirm it, but there's also a possibility that he would prove it with some object related to his true parentage. Anyways, let's just skip this whole conversation between Howland and Jon to see if there's any part of the leaked script that actually makes sense. It says Qyburn visits Cersei and informs her that Winterfell has been attacked and that Daenerys and Jon have lost a great deal of their armies. Cersei smiles. Qyburn also tells that the Lannister army has apparently joined the battle at Winterfell. Cersei asks if Jaime has survived, but Qyburn tells he doesn't know. Cersei adds that he shouldn't have. After that, Euron arrives back in King's Landing. He comes to tell Cersei that the Golden Company successfully took Storm's End and that the army is gathered right there. He tells Cersei that it's time for him to finally receive his reward, and Cersei agrees. It's still night in Greywater Watch and the characters stay there until morning. Jon and Daenerys sleep together in a hut. Daenerys finally tells Jon that she's pregnant with his child. Jon is surprised and expresses his happiness towards Daenerys. He jokes that this is the only good thing that happened to them at the moment. He also wonders about their child's health since they're family. Daenerys comforts Jon that Targaryens have been inbreeding for years and she is perfectly healthy. Daenerys thinks she's having a son again and asks Jon what he would name their son. Jon thinks he should be named after the greatest person he knew in his life, the one that saved his life, his uncle Ned. He wants his son to be named Eddard Targaryen. Daenerys repeats the name and smiles. She says she likes it very much. The two start to kiss in their hut. Jaime visits Brienne's hut as well. Brienne grieves over Podrick's death, telling him that Podrick was the last person to deserve to die like that. Jaime agrees, telling Brienne that he was a good lad and he was lucky to have been around Brienne all that time. The Hound and Arya make a fire during the night. The Hound asks how she managed to cross off almost every name on her list, but before Arya can respond on that question, she tells the Hound to shut up. She hears some strange noises. Not much later, a group of whites attack Arya and the Hound. The two begin to fight the whites, but more whites come since they are attracted to the noise. It's then when Nymeria and a much larger pack of wolves come in between and kill off a huge amount of whites. A lot of wolves die too. When most of the whites are killed off, the Hound thinks they should flee as soon as they can before another group of whites comes to kill them off. Arya notices that she has lost the needle during the fight, but the Hound insists that there is no time left to search for the sword and they should leave immediately. This time Arya manages to have Nymeria follow her and the Hound. I most definitely think that Nymeria will reappear in the time of the greatest need to save Arya's life, but it still doesn't make me think that those leaks are even partly accurate since there are so many inconsistencies, and to be honest, it sounds quite bad for the episodes that are going to be the most expensive episodes in the show. It then states that the wedding between Cersei Lannister and Euron Greyjoy takes place in the throne room. Euron looks very delighted, Cersei not so. It's Qyburn who has them married. Cersei wears a tight, long black dress. She looks quite sad during the wedding. The wedding scene itself doesn't take long and the scene switches to their wedding bed. This scene is an intercut between Cersei and Euron having intercourse, and Jaime and Brienne also having intercourse in their hut. The two still think of each other. Next morning, the group departs from Greywater Watch and Jon and Sansa say goodbye to each other. Jon asks Gendry to keep his sister safe. Daenerys and Jon also say goodbye and leave each other. Daenerys tells Jon that Drogon should stay with him. They'll need him to fight the Night King. The two kiss before leaving each other. Jorah is still having difficulties with that. We see all of the characters go different ways and that's how the episode ends. There you have it guys, highly requested leaked script for the third episode of the final season that seems just as fake as every leaked script of the next episodes. And as always, let me know your opinion about all of this in the comment section down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.